So before going further, if you want to maybe just give a little background on each characters, if you're able.
I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my name's Aaron Lang. I'm a 36-year-old aviator from York. I came up through the army with Tom. I have a son who I idolise, and yeah, we're just coming in to check on him, really.
Are you okay to?
Yeah, I'm Albert Redfield, again, joined the army as part of the Pals Brigade with Aaron and Tom. And since I got out of the army after the war, I took up journalism, investigative journalism. And I've got a few contacts here and there, and I know a few people. And I can pull some strings and, just want to see how Tom is.
Okay, cool. Right, so found the proper intros here. So yeah, like I say, it's the summer of 1922. You're visiting Thomas Kimball, an old friend and brother in arms from the Great War, after becoming concerned for his well-being. The three of you served together in the same battalion, signing up during the Pals Batallions Recruitment Drive, originally devised by Lord Derby and then instituted at a national level by Lord Kitchener. During the war, you were amongst the few men in your battalion that survived the Big Push and the Battle of the Somme in 1916. At the end of the war, each came home bearing both physical scars and perhaps less visible mental ones. Thomas was particularly affected and suffered greatly from the effects of shell shock. Several months ago, Thomas moved to the small coastal town of Ravenscar on the North Yorkshire coast, taking up residence in a house once owned by his Uncle Douglas Kimball. Everyone was sure that the change would prove both beneficial to his mental and physical health, but of late, Thomas's demeanour has been cause for concern. So, like I say, it's a hot and dry summer in 1922. There's not been any rain for several weeks, so it's almost like get into a drought situation. And you arrive at on the train station in Ravenscar, small town, quite a new town. Yeah, and disembark from the train onto a platform. There's very only maybe a couple of other people disembark here. The train line is the main coastal line that runs from Whitby down to Scarborough. It's the NER, the North East Railway. But yeah, so you disembark at the on the platform at Ravenscar station.
Don't seem too bad. A little town is moved into here, Aaron. What do you think?
Seems pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Bit of coastal breeze. I could fancy myself living out here, you know.
Okay, so there's just all these on the platform. There's just a small waiting room, ticket office, and a station house off to one side. There's a small set of steps and a ramp that runs down off the platform onto the street, the main street that runs away from the train station into the centre of town. So Ravenscar's a quite small, somewhat isolated town. Like I say, it's on the North Yorkshire coast. And it sits above dramatic cliffs that plunge to the rocks and the sea below, while the landward side is bordered by a dense ancient woodland on the west side. So it's a quiet rural town of shady lanes, apple orchards, and as you walk through town, you can see it's only got a few amenities that are collected around the old village, what would have been the old village green before it grew and became a town. And it consists of a small town hall, accommodates the office of the local parish council, and a small local library, and as well, and across from that, a police station that's housed in an old cottage with a bowed roof and a telltale blue lamp above the door, as well as several shops, including a greengrocer's, ironmonger's, butchers, small bakers, and the town is served by a single pub called the Black Dog Inn, which I believe, if I get rid of this image, although not everybody will see it at the moment, is okay, right. The sign of which hangs out over the front, still in the there's only a light breeze, and depicts a black phantom dog from famous for in English folklore. On a hill bordering the woodland, you can see the steeple of the local All Saints Church, below which can also be found the local school. So as you walk through town, you can see it's located on a local bus route. There's just a single bus stop in the entire town, and it's served by a service again, like the railway. It's served by a service that runs between to both Scarborough and Whitby about 3 times a day. The main road running through the town is tarmac, but all the other side roads are either cobbled or dirt, some with cobbled crossings. So yeah.
Do we have? I guess we've got Thomas's address.
You have indeed, yes.
Yeah. I mean, can we walk there, or is it a bus?
No. It's walkable. It's all like I say. It's only a very small town.
Yeah. Well, I guess while it's morning, then we'll make our way towards Thomas's. We'll have a stroll towards Thomas's. But I guess while we're on way, I sort of look to Aaron and like, do you think he's had another turn? Do you think he's come back?
I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean by another turn?
Well, we were there, the war. He took it pretty hard with a shell shock and what have you. And we've all seen it. We've all seen plenty of people there. Do you think it's another turn? Do you think he's got worse?
He probably sounds like it. Yeah, maybe we should keep an eye on that. I'll double check on that.
Well, I mean, it's why we're here.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it's going to be like. I just don't know. I'm a bit worried for him, if I'm honest. It's all a bit strange.
Okay, so Thomas's cottage sits. A lot of viewing things on that. Lighting restricted. There we go. That's better. So Thomas's cottage sits at the end of Church Lane, a part dirt, part cobbled road. The house, like its 2 neighbours, sits a little way back from the road and is bordered by lawns and colourful flower beds beneath the ground floor windows. Though it's all looking a little bit tardy, like it's in need of a little bit of attention. So there's tall hawthorn hedges mark the borders between Thomas's property and his neighbours, though the back is open to the woodlands that lie beyond. And there's only 2, including Thomas's house. There's only 3 houses on this entire street. And
he's the middle. Is he the middle one?
He is indeed. The middle house.
Yeah.
So as you approach the house, the front door, Thomas's front door opens, and you can see Thomas just inside, and a young woman comes out. A young woman with her hair tied back and a pair of spectacles, white blouse, and a beaded necklace. And she's got a book sort of tucked under her arm as she sort of meets her at the garden gate. She smiles, perhaps a little awkwardly, wishes you good morning. Then before you have a chance to reply, she sort of squeezes past and hurries on her way.
How's she dressed?
How's she dressed though? She looks. She puts you in mind. She's not sort of, not poor. She's definitely not poorly dressed, and she don't look. She don't look like. Don't look like she's from the upper classes or anything. Maybe sort of middle class. She puts you in mind of a teacher, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I guess once she's walked past, then I glance at her as she walks past, and my attention turns to Thomas on the doorstep. I'm like, Thomas, good to see you.
He's like, he's just closing the door, and then when he doesn't appear to have seen you at first, and when you call out, he stops, pauses a moment, and then opens the door and says, says Albert. And
Thomas, how are we?
I'm good. Come in, the pair of you. Well,
good.
So, Aaron, how have you been?
I'm fine, mate. How are you? What's going on in your world?
I'm good. Things are good. It's trying to get my uncle's house in order. But okay, anyway, let's don't stand there. Come in. You must be hungry after your journey.
Yeah, get some food on, mate. Could do with a good bit of grub.
Yeah, no problem. And he shows you through to dining room, and he busies himself going back and forth between the kitchen and the dining room, exchanging small talk, catching up on how you've been doing, what your families are up to, and one thing and another. And you sit there, eat a sort of a meagre kind of lunch that he throws together. It's mainly sandwiches, cold meat sandwiches, and cups of tea, and a few small buns that are a little bit stale, to be honest. And as he talks, you become aware is like the odd nervous twitch that seems that at first he seemed to be weren't present, but as he sort of relaxes a bit, they become more and more obvious. And every so often, while you're talking, a couple of times he excuses himself and goes over and just like checks the windows and checking the locks on the windows and says, just a minute, wasn't that somebody at the door? And he disappears and checks the door and goes out and checks the back door and then comes back and sits down. Says, so what have you been doing? How long will you be staying?
Well, I mean, that's up to you, Thomas. I mean, we've not seen each other for a while, and if I'm honest, you've sort of been a bit out of sight, out of mind. If I do say so. We're concerned. So I don't know. We're here as long as we welcome, I guess.
You're welcome to stay as long as you like. I'd be more than welcome the company. It can be a little isolating out here at times.
Well, are you sure, or we won't be overstaying as welcome with regards to your lady friend? Who was she?
No, you've got the wrong idea. That's it, Mrs. Mountford. She's a local school teacher. She just came to borrow a book. One of my uncle's old books. Apparently he'd promised to borrow a lend of this book a long time ago. But since I moved into my uncle's house, she'd come round and see if she could borrow the book that he'd promised to lend her. Nearly nearly 2 years since he went missing.
Oh yeah, borrow a book, is it? Yeah, borrow a book.
Yeah, yes, it's not what you think. I'll Al, it's
Right.
she's happily married.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is, Thomas, the old dog.
Right, he sort of chuckles and goes a little bit red. But yes, so yeah, but things have been a little bit up and down lately, and he's sort of, and then he kind of stops talking and it seems to drift off a little bit.
Up and down. What do you mean, up and down?
Right, as you speak, he suddenly like, visibly like jumps, as if he's like just snapping back to where he is. And yes, it's did you hear that?
Hear what?
I'm sure he gets up again and goes and disappears out of the room. You can hear it. You can hear him like rattling windows, and he comes back in. It must just be the neighbour's dog. Says
What?
Says I'm a little unsettled lately. I've just had a couple of break-ins.
Break-ins?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, I think the first happened about 2 weeks ago. The second just a couple of days ago.
Well,
Have you been to the police?
check anything?
It's, yeah, there have been police. The police have been round, but I think they're beginning to think I'm just a nuisance. From what I can tell, the only thing they've taken is some books from some of Uncle Douglas's old books from his from the study.
How did they get in, Tom?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. There's no the police couldn't find any evidence of any break-in.
Are you sure they took some books?
Says yes. Look, come. I'll show you. And he leads you through to the study.
As we're going to study, I guess, what's the rest of the house look like? Is it sort of a bit like unkempt and sort of looking a bit tatty, or?
It's not looking particularly tatty. It looks like things. It's not dirty or anything like that. It looks. Maybe recently. It's got the appearance that maybe recently is not keeping up with the housework and things, but it's not filth or anything. Like I say, it just looks like it's been a recent thing.
Yeah.
You know, like past the kitchen, there's a lot of pots in the sink, and maybe there's like a few coats thrown over the back of chairs instead of hung up in the cloak room by the entrance, and things like that. Like I say, no, it don't look terrible.
Okay. Let's have a look at these books then, Thomas. That you say he's nicked. No, someone's been in and nicked.
So it takes you through into the study. So this is the only really the only room left that I haven't really done much with. I think I've pretty much made the rest of the house my own, but there's a lot to do in here, a lot to sort out, and this study, it's quite. In fact, I think we've got a picture of the study as well. One moment. So yeah, you got just like a study, and three walls of the study are aligned with bookshelves. Everything's all carefully ordered, and not a book type place. They're like they're lined up perfectly with the edges of the shelves and split into like or carefully categorized. But even you notice there's a few spots, like gaps. in these neatly ordered shelves. So as well as the bookshelves, as well, there's quite big bay windows that look out over the garden, and sitting in front of these windows is a desk.
What's the titles of the books? Do I recognise any, or are they ordered in like categories? Or
there's all sorts of books. There's like the range from like natural history books to encyclopedias to historical books, travel like travel log, sort of travel logs and
Are they
history
stored in
books.
any particular fashion? So like all the travel books together or
Yes,
anything?
yes. So everything's arranged in a particular by category, and then by either alphabetically or by author. So there's probably the biggest section is like fiction, where most of these books the gaps seem to be.
Tom, who's coming in here stealing fiction books?
This is what I don't understand. I mean, there's from what I can tell, I think from looking at the gaps, I think there's about 6 missing.
Is someone in this place desperate to read a story? Is it that boring?
Well, it's I'm not much of a reader, as you know, so I don't know. I'd planned to go through and check everything and box everything up and get them sold off, but like I say, one thing or another. I've only been here. It's not that long since I've been here. I've been concentrating on the rest of the house, really, and now I'm just a little bit. Just to be honest, it just makes me a little bit. Puts me a little bit on edge, even coming in here.
Why? It's a library. What's there to be on edge about?
Well, the fact that this is where the intruders, the burglars, have been. It's not quite. I don't know if it's something you've experienced, but it's quite an unnerving experience knowing that some strangers have been prowling around the inside of your house, especially since you were here when you've been here and you were unaware.
I walk over to the windows and I give the good wind, like the windows are a good rattle, and make the sort of check that they're locked, and like, Tom, no one's coming in through here without breaking glass.
Okay, so while you're doing that, you notice one of the side windows, the lock on it's is loose, and the window gives a little bit.
And can I lift it up? Does it sort of open? Does it give enough to lift
it
up,
looks
or?
like it looks like if you wiggled it around a bit and you could get enough gap to get your fingers in to actually lift the latch.
So I guess I do wiggle it and see how loose it is, and
yeah. So
try and knock the latch off.
Yeah. So it's quite easy. Obviously it's easy from the inside, but you think the amount of gap it would be. You can see that it would be possible to maybe do that from the outside as well.
Might have found the way in, Tom.
So really?
Looks like it.
Right. It comes over and has a look. He says, "Oh my God!" He says, "You're right. This must be how they were getting in."
What window does this lead off to?
Sorry?
What window does this lead off to? Which side of the house? The front, the back?
It leads off to the left-hand side of the house.
Okay, so next to one of the other properties.
Yeah.
Would it be worthwhile checking on the outside to see if there's any signs of intrusion that way?
Read me mind, Aaron. Read me mind.
Okay. Is that?
Yeah, I'll go and have a look.
We'll go have a look outside, Tom.
Okay. I'll go make a fresh cuppa, eh?
Yeah, get that kettle on.
Okay. So as you turn around to leave the study, you can make a spot hidden roll as well.
Both of us?
Yeah. Why not?
I'll let you make that for me, Phil.
Okay. Yeah. Just give me a second. Just need to put that back on. Alright, that's not showing up that well. Let me find your character. Albert. Spotted.
Refresh my memory, Phil. What does pushing a roll mean?
So pushing a roll means if you fail a skill check, you've got two options. You've got three options. You can either accept you failed it. You can spend luck on a one-for-one basis to pay the difference to make it a success, or you can push the roll. So pushing rolls means you have to come up with a justifiable reason to. So pushing it is basically like a re-roll, but you have to have a justify. You have to justify why you're pushing it, and if you fail a pushed roll, then there's consequences to it. So normally just a normal failed roll is just you failed. With a pushed roll, then there might be there'll be some negative consequences to it. Okay, so yeah, it's spending 6 luck. Right. Can I just do one for Albert? Okay, so you both passed. In fact, Albert got a hard success.
Excellent.
So, like I say, as you turn around to leave, and you notice on the walls around the room, facing like opposite the bay windows, there's slightly discoloured patches on the walls that seem to suggest areas where they were painting somewhere on the wall.
As in a painting's been removed,
yes,
like the paint.
Yes,
it's a bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just note it, but I don't say anything to Aaron. I don't think it's massively important at the moment.
Okay, right. So you you go out of the house. You want to you probably get your shoes from the cloakroom. While you're retrieving your shoes from the cloakroom, you notice tucked in the back corner of the cloakroom is Thomas's old army rifle.
This the old dog keeping his rifle in cupboard. Check it, Aaron. See if it's loaded.
Does it look maintained, Phil? Does it?
It looks. It looks like it's been well maintained, and it is actually loaded. Yeah.
Jesus, what's he doing keeping this?
Wants to be careful.
Careful? In his state, he'll have his face off.
What do you want to do? Do we approach him about it?
I mean, he's got it. He's had burglars. Leave it. He knows how to use it. I'm more concerned. Do you think he seems a bit jittery? Do you think he seems a bit on edge?
Yeah, even more so than I would have anticipated, to be honest. I thought he might have just been down on his luck, but he looks. I think it might have been past shell shock. I don't know if this is bringing it all back to him or what, but he's not in a good place, is he?
Far from it. I'm just not. I don't know. It just strikes me as a bit odd. He's never normally like this.
So, are you going to proceed outside?
Yeah. I'm going to go check the window from the out. Well, not the window, just like look, checking around to see if you can see signs of footprints or comings and goings.
Okay. So
yeah, I want to check the window outside and see how secure it is, and see if I can actually open it from outside as well.
Okay. Right. So the house is, like I said before, is surrounded by sort of well-maintained lawns and flower beds. Although they're starting to look as if they're in need of a bit of attention. So there's a waist height wooden fence that runs along the front of the property, while, like I said before, the rear of it's open to extensive woodland that forms like a natural border on the west side of Ravenscar, and the woods run up into like hills. And you can clearly see there's like several walking trails and paths that run up through the wooded hills. So heading round to where the bay windows are, you can see, like checking the windows, you can see, as you get close, you can see that you can quite easily get your fingers behind that window, and if you pull on it, you can there's then enough gap for your ease. But if you just maybe with a stick or something, you can reach in and unhook the latch quite easily. You can also both make a spot hidden as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I need to do that for you again.
That's right.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So.
Spot hidden. Very good.
Yep. So you notice that aside from your own any sort of markings that you might have made yourselves, you notice the flower bed beneath the window has been crushed. So all the flowers are being flattened down, as if something heavy landed there.
Can I make out if there's like footprints in it, or if it's been a person, or?
It's so the like flowers and things of that are quite thick. So and it's kind of landed. So it's just like a carpet. There's no sign. It's not. There's no like visible earth for it to leave any to have left any sort of marks or footprints. It's just like thick, just like a thick carpet of flowers that's been crushed down. But on top of that, like I say, there's been very little to no rain over the past several weeks, so the ground's quite hard anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Crouch down, I guess, and just have a look at the crushed area, and just sort of, have a bit of an inspection around there, see if I notice anything or see if I can see anything.
Okie dokie. What is Aaron doing?
I'll just try and discern, see if I can get any kind of direction, whether or not you can see if it's coming at an angle or going from an angle, or seeing which way it's coming and going from.
Right. Well, yeah. So you both take a bit of a close look. Aaron, you trying to kind of see if you can get some kind of take on which direction they exited from, but it's too hard to tell. I mean, the last of these incidents, according to Thomas, happened 2 days ago, and of course there has been some, the plants have started to spring back up a little bit, but it must have been quite a bit of weight to land on them. To like I said, they're all, aside from that, they're all pretty much squashed flat. It's while you're sort of both checking, like having a closer look at this, you hear a deep growling sound, coming from behind you, and looking round, you're confronted by an enormous black dog. Must stand at almost like 4 feet at the shoulder.
Wow.
It's snarling, and its bright yellow and amber eyes are glaring at you, and it looks like it's almost like it's ready to pounce.
All right, boy. Do you want to back up a bit here, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Show no fear, though.
Yeah, all right, boy, all right.
So you still like start trying to talk it down, and it slowly starts edging towards you. It's like baring its teeth, its gums rolling back, and just when it looks like the situation is going to get out of control, you hear 2 female voices loudly shout, "Bertie! Bertie, you come here this instant! Leave those nice gentlemen alone!" And you see two women sort of look late Middle Ages, maybe 50s, 60s, early 60s. Come round the bottom, the wooded, the woods end of the garden, coming round the hawthorn hedge, and as they do, this dog Bertie, this huge wolfhound, like, goes bounding over to him, leaping up and resting its paws on the shoulder of one of them. And at this point, he must be stood on his back legs. He must stand nearly a good 7 feet tall.
Hey, you want to get a saddle for that, love?
So I'm so sorry. And like, well, the other one's going, Bertie, get down, Bertie. The both look quite identical. They're clearly at least sisters, if not twins. This is the other woman who's while her sister's trying to control the dog, the other one comes over. She says, "I'm so sorry about that. My name's Harriet, and this is Edith. Edith Ambrose. We're neighbours of Mr. Kimball. We saw you arrive earlier. Are you visiting?"
Yes, we are indeed. We've come to check on Thomas. He's not been himself as of late, and we've not heard much from him, so we just thought we'd pop in, check in how he is, see what is going on with his uncle's house. And we've been informed there's been a couple of break-ins. Would either of you two ladies?
Oh dear, no. It's I've not heard anything about that. No, not at all. We've not seen. But then we do have Bertie. You can see the her other sister Edith, like, "Get down, Bertie! I tell you, get down!"
Has Bertie been acting strange at any particular times of the evening? I'm just trying to investigate whether or not.
No, he's a little scoundrel though. He's off we're going to have to get I think we're going to have to get a fence installed at the bottom of the garden. There's far too many times he gets out when he's not supposed to be. So what happened to Douglas anyway? I haven't seen for a long time. Did he pass away?
We were told he was missing, presumed deceased, and as such, Thomas has ended up with the house.
Oh, that's such a shame. Thomas seems such a nice young man, just like his uncle.
Yeah, he's a lovely chap. Fallen on some hard times, but we're here to help him out. We'll get him through it.
Oh, that's good. That's what you need at times of need. So a few good friends.
I completely agree.
So we think his uncle's dead then, yes?
That is the presumption, yeah.
Oh dear.
Do you know anything about his disappearance?
No. Douglas used to travel a lot. He could be away for weeks and months at a time. But like I say, I hadn't. If people get used to that, and we didn't really notice so much when he's away due to his travels. It's such a shame. She leans in and says, "Edith carried a bit of a torch for him, Nothing ever came of it, though."
Is that true, Edith?
Right, so you look round, and Edith has managed to get Bertie down, and he's sat at her feet, and he just goes, "Harriet, that's terrible. You shouldn't be spreading rumours like that." He says, "Come along, Harriet." And so Harriet goes, "Well, good day to you. Well, maybe we'll see you again." And they both wander off down the garden, dragging Bertie home.
Bertie seems like a fine beast.
He's definitely keeping that side of the garden well guarded.
Yeah, I think we'll stay out of Bertie's hair for our visit here.
You've got to be popular if they've named a pub after him.
Well,
I jest.
Right. So I guess other than his encounter with Bertie, do we notice anything else in that sort of in the back garden?
So you do a full circuit of the house, checking around, and you don't seem to be anything else of that catches your eye. No.
Right. Okay. I don't know, Aaron. Do you want to tell him about this?
About the window, yeah, absolutely. I mean, whether or not we want to, I don't know. Maybe we could scope it out for him one evening and see if they come back. Or
I think we should secure his window for him.
yeah. Yeah, we can. We'll secure his window for now. Definitely tell him. Put his mind at rest because he is a bit flaky over the whole situation. That might calm him down a bit.
Yeah, I don't think it'll hurt really, will it? You know, let's look after the poor sod. I don't know. I'm just this frame of mind. I just don't know what's in with him. I don't know. Do you really think someone's breaking in for fiction books?
It certainly looks that way at the moment. You know.
Come on, Aaron, a fiction book.
We don't know.
You've seen some of the shit that lads will do in the trenches. Fiction books. I don't know. I can understand people nicking rations, things like that. Trades, fags, you know, that sort of things. Backer, fiction books. Come off it. He can't even read, the kid. Anyway, let's get this window sorted out. It might put his mind at rest a little bit. I tell you what, while we're out here, I'm gonna have a check round rest at house. I'm just gonna have a walk round grounds and see what else is around here.
I'll make a start on trying to secure this window then. I'll go back inside and tell him what we've seen.
I walk down his garden filter, like sort of go out round, try and get round the back to look round the woods and things like that. You know, the where the back of his house goes onto the woods. I just want to have a look round there.
Okay. Right, so you go going down to the bottom of the garden. There's, like I said, there's several paths that run off through the woods up into the hills and running along one that runs along, like probably a main one that runs along the edge of the wood that runs along the back of the houses. Like I say, looks like it sort of follows the edge of the wood. But there's like I said, there's several other paths that run off into the woods as well.
Nothing. I guess that looking around had anything that had sort of draw me in, or
no, nothing. Again, there's nothing out of the ordinary. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, no.
Well, I'll have a look closer into the woods. I'll see if I can see, like, if there's any spot where, you know, it looks like anyone's been watching his house from.
Okay. Right. So meanwhile, so Aaron, you go back inside, yeah.
Yeah.
And so as you go inside, Thomas meets you in the hallway and says, "So anything?"
Unfortunately, mate, yeah, I think you might be onto something. The windows, I think we could get in quite easily. And it looks like somebody's crushed some of your flowers in front of the window.
So the police are useless. I'm sure they think it's all in my imagination.
Well, it does seem a bit of a stretch, mate, for some fiction books, but I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
it's obviously shaking you up somewhat.
I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, the second time I woke up and I was woken by noises from downstairs, and I'm sure I must have disturbed them. By the time I got there, there was nobody there.
But surely they couldn't have locked the window as they went out, could they?
I don't know. It's a mystery. I find, as I say, I find it quite unnerving. The whole affair.
Well, just being logical about it, mate. Think about it. Even if they did get through the window, you would have found an open window. Have you come down to that window being opened at all?
No, not that I recall. No. But if it's so easy, if it's as easy to open as you say, then maybe it's just as easy to close it. I really don't know. I don't know.
It is a mystery. Well, we'll get it locked up for you anyway, and then
So
we'll
you can make an idea roll,
an idea.
which is intelligence.
Just intelligence, yeah, straight intelligence.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. Unless so you can push that, or you can use luck, spend luck. You spend some
I'll
luck.
spend luck to push.
Okay.
I'll spend luck.
So the other thing about that is that if you spend luck, you can't then push it. So you can it's only one or the. Okay, so so observing Thomas's mental state, you suspect, regardless of the validity of these claims, you suspect that maybe just a simple thing of finding these missing books should and showing maybe showing that'll show him that there's it'll set his mind at ease, or perhaps even show him that there's nothing to it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll put that to put that to him. I'll say, maybe we could just have a little look around the house and see if these books turn up. That might put you at ease a bit.
Says, well, yes, I suppose so.
You said you've not been interested in him, and you've been looking to get rid of him anyway. So yeah, let's do that. Let's just have a little peruse, see what we can find.
Okay. So you want to go and you want to sort of go around the house and search for the books.
Yeah, just go looking for the books, just in like obvious places.
Okay. Okay. So you sort of cajole Thomas into doing that. Maybe it'll maybe at the very least it'll provide like a distraction for him.
Yeah.
So Albert, you can make or can you make a track roll, or do you still need me to do it?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Track. Oh, terrible, but we'll see. Spotting's not my forte. Certainly not.
Oh. Wow, close.
Yeah. I'm going to spend 5 luck on it.
Right.
Because it's a one shot and I don't need it. So.
Okay.
So we'll go from there. Yeah, there we go. And this is where you tell me I see nothing.
So there is perhaps you do come across whether it's nothing, it's relevant or not, but there is a spot behind sort of behind one of the larger trees that sit at the edge of the wood, where it looks like somebody stands regulars, like the ground sort of trampled down there, sort of worn away, as if somebody's been stood there on a regular basis, or stood there for a long time. It's kind of maybe a hollow, slight hollow dug out with been shuffling the feet. Yeah, so maybe.
I stand in it then and I look at his house, see what I can sort of see from this spot where this person's been.
So yeah, you get a good view of the house. I mean, you can't see the sides of the house, but you can see the back, so you can see the kitchen window, and you can see the two of the main bedroom windows upstairs. One of which looks, from the fact that it's got curtains up compared to the other one, it looks to be what must be Thomas's bedroom.
Yeah, so I guess I'll make a note of it, because when I go back in house and I want to have a look round, I want to see if I can see this spot from his bedroom.
Okay.
Just from there and see if it is.
Righto.
And I'll make my way back towards the house.
Right. Okay. Okay. So right when you return to the house, Thomas and Aaron are going over the house from top to bottom, trying to find these missing, see if these missing books are somewhere, like have been secreted somewhere about the house. But it quickly becomes apparent that they're not here.
Okay, I'll go to his bedroom anyway, because the first thing I want to check is that while it's...
Okay, so yeah, you can probably nip into his room while they're doing that. So yeah, you can clearly, it looks straight out onto that spot.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention anything yet, because I don't know if there's anything worth mentioning at the moment. From there, so yeah, and I don't necessarily want to speak to Thomas about it.
Okay. So while you and Aaron and Thomas, while you're wandering around the house looking, just to try and distract him, maybe more than anything else, looking to see if they can find the books in the house. Thomas sort of says a little bit more about what's been going off. So he's saying, it says that only he suspects that there was maybe more than 2 attempts at breaking in. He says, but there are only two occasions where he is sure like books have been taken from the library. But on those occasions, and on other occasions, he's found doors open that he's sure were closed, and just little things moved, and a light left on, and things like that. But you're not sure if he's imagined these, or if he's done these things himself and forgotten.
So you're telling me you think people have been in because you've left doors open? Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Well, I just found evidence of like things being moved. The doors in the house open. Could have sworn I'd closed, and I don't know. Maybe it's maybe this isolation is getting to me. It's
Tom, you know what we were like after war, mate. You know what you've been through. Come on, you know what your memory's like. You know what you like.
Well, yeah, maybe so. Maybe moving here was a mistake.
Well, I don't know. It's a nice, quiet place. A good bit of sea air might do you some good.
Maybe.
So, what do you want us to do about these books? What do you want us to do for you, Tom? Look, we're mates. We can help you out here.
I just want to find out what's happened. I'm convinced that somebody's taken them. They're not here. It's not me. I can assure you, it's not me.
Fine. Well, this is what makes it fun.
It says anyway. This is all being a little bit a bit too much excitement. I'm a little tired. I can feel a migraine coming on. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to retire to my room for a while. But feel free to help yourself to food and refreshments.
Yeah, go get your head down, mate. We'll sort it out here. We'll finish up here.
Okay, so he disappears up to his room. You hear him close the door.
I'll go find Aaron then.
Okay.
And mate, what are we doing about these books?
I'm under the distinct impression that if we were to help him find these books, or at least put some effort into looking for him, then he might be able to turn a corner. I'll put it to rest, as it were.
Really? Over some books? It's books. Then there's people breaking in. Then there's people moving stuff in house. Is it? Do you think it's these books, or are we up here? I'm gonna go chat to neighbours. I'm gonna go speak to his neighbours.
Okay. What's Aaron doing?
I will see about fixing this window, and then do I know where the school is, where this teacher would have gone?
Not offhand, no. So you're going to go
Did we not see it?
So it's somewhere back in town. Yeah, you maybe see it. You maybe saw it on your way through town. Yeah, or yeah. It probably won't be hard to find.
I tell you what, leave the window. We'll sort the window out later. We're here, If what happens tonight, we can stay with him anyway. Let's go see the neighbour on the way. If you want to go find this teacher and have a chat with her, well, we'll do it after we've been to see neighbour.
Okay. Stick together then. Okay.
We can always go speak to police as well, and 2 heads are better than 1.
I agree. So we're going to speak to the other neighbour then.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if there is.
So yeah, go in and check in on the other neighbour, but there's nobody home at the moment. Doing so, you want to head into the town, or?
Yeah, because there's only these 3 houses here, isn't there? We've seen
Yes.
one neighbour with dog, with Bertie, and then the other neighbour's not in. So yeah, we may as well head into town and ask around, have a chat in town.
Okay. So you head into town, and people are quite friendly, and I mean it seems quite close knit, so they quickly recognise you as strangers, but they're pretty friendly and welcoming. And you hear that they're getting used to strangers because they're starting to see a trickle of tourists in the summer months as holidaying on the coast becomes more and more popular, particularly in Whitby and Scarborough. But very, very few people in town have much to say about Thomas. A lot of people aren't even aware that he's living in Douglas's house. A lot of people still are just think that thought that Douglas was still away on one of his trips.
Can we find out what Douglas does?
He was retired.
Okay.
He was I believe he was a history professor, but either history or history and English, I believe. But yeah, he was retired. But he had he was quite well off, which is why he spent his money on travelling.
Okay. Where's the police station?
So it's pretty much just off the old village green at the centre of the town.
Yeah, I guess before we go anywhere, I sort of think, well, I've not seen the neighbours, so I'm intrigued in what police have got to say about it.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to go to the police station.
Okay, you both going together?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, like I said, the police station. It's in a little old cottage, and the only thing that identifies it as a police station is got one of them, sort of old, sort of style of blue police lamps out hanging above the front door. And the door, you get there as you approach, you can see the doors open. It goes into opens out straight into like a little office with a couple of desks, and there's just two policemen in here. One's a constable, and there's an older looking officer that turns out to be the police sergeant.
All right, Sergeant. How we doing? Mind if we pick your brains and have a word?
Says, what would that be regarding, sir?
A good mate, Thomas, up on one of the old houses up on the cliff tops there. You've probably been round and seen him. Maybe once or twice.
Mr. Kimball. Yes, we know. We know Mr. Kimball. Yes.
Yeah, good mate of ours. Served in the war together. Pals Battalion. All from same area, all joined up same time.
Oh, it's very good. I heard he'd been in the war. He did mention it, I believe.
Yeah, he had a bit of a rough time. Old Tom is, heavy shell shock, seen a lot of horrible stuff, and
well, that would perhaps explain a lot.
Explain a lot.
Well, we had Mr. Kimball. He seems a little highly strung, if you don't mind me saying so.
No, to be honest with you, mate, we've seen it. I know what he's like. I've seen him worse than this, and all. I'm not sure what the phrase would be, but I think a doctor would call him if it was illness. I think a doctor would call him was it a hypochondriac? It just seems to be a crime every other day. Every other day? Why? How many is he reported?
Oh, he must have phoned the station at least 6 or 7 times over the past 2 weeks.
Oh, that many?
That many, yeah.
All right. How many times you been up?
We've been up twice. When the report there was when they reported the burglary, and there seemed to be something to it. There's books, just a few books taken from the old Mr. Kimball's library by all accounts. From what we could tell.
That's sort of what we've been. That's what we've been told. And you find anything?
To be honest, no. We couldn't find any. No, we couldn't find any sign of any signs of burglary. No forced entry.
Maybe you ought to, spend a little bit more time looking around.
Well, we kept after the first incident. We kept an eye on the property. One of us had walk and make a point of walking down that way on once or twice on an evening. But
you ever stop by and watch the house? Just stand and watch the house at any point?
Oh, we don't have the time or the resources to commit somebody to that much of to that kind of thing. There's only myself and Constable Boyce here.
Yeah, I didn't think you would, but I don't want to tell you how to do your job. But
I'm glad you don't.
I think
sir.
we found a way. Yeah? I think we found us means of entry into
Really?
property. Yeah. Did you ever check the windows or anything in the study?
It turns to Boyce. Says, Boyce, did you check the windows? And he's like, well, I think so, sir. I don't recall anything.
You think so, or you did so?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks now. I'm pretty sure.
Well, pretty sure is not a definite in my book. I work on definites. I work on facts, and I like to know what I know that I can prove. But anyway, it's by the by. But we found a loose window latch, quite easy from outside to jiggle it open, get in there, get in that property. And if you're not too convinced, I mean, outside the flower bed, his flowers were looking a bit trampled, like something's landed on them and crushed them down.
That's probably Harriet's dog.
It'd be something bigger than a dog.
Have you seen the size of that beast?
Yeah, we've
could take down Bertie. A pony, that thing.
Yeah, we've met Bertie. We're familiar with Bertie.
Yeah, he's always getting out and hanging around the Kimball place and making a nuisance of himself.
Well, I'm not sure he hangs around in flower beds underneath a window that's got a dodgy latch. Seems a little stretch too far for me.
Well, that may be, but maybe we'll call by another day now. Have another look. But,
you got anything from his uncle or anyone who might have had interest in that family or any other history or?
Not at all. First, Douglas Kimball never had a problem. I mean, the man used to be on his travels most of the time. Probably spent more time away than he did at his home, and never once had any problems. And that was when the house has been left empty for months at a time.
Yeah. While you're here, what's the name of the
school
teacher?
As far as burglars go, the last time we had a proper burglary, it must have been at least a year back. And I know for a fact, old Six Fingers, he's locked up in York jail.
Six Fingers?
Yeah, that's what we called him. He had a bit of a birth defect. Had a little extra finger on one hand.
What, are we talking a 5 and a 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, well. Anyway, talk to me. School teacher.
School teacher? Oh, you must mean Miss. You must mean Mrs. Mountford.
Yeah, Mrs. Mountford. Where's she about these days?
Well, today she'll probably be She'll probably be at home, I imagine.
And where would that be?
So he tells you, he gives you directions to
Yeah.
the house.
Yeah, we might go pay her a visit, have a chat with her.
Says, what would you want to be speaking to Mrs. Mountford for, anyway?
No, nothing special. I think she's got a bit of a friendly relationship going off with old Tommy boy, So,
So
when we turn up,
now, you mind that kind of talk. This Mrs. Mountford is a happily married woman with a daughter. Don't want to be.
Don't jump to no conclusions.
Just don't be making any trouble.
Trouble? I just want to speak to her. The reason why is she strikes me as a woman who's probably knows a bit more about Thomas. She probably got a little bit of insight onto his old state, if you know what I mean.
Well, just you mind anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I can see you're busy in here today, anyway, boys. So I don't want to take up any more of your time and your police work. So thanks for that, guys. We might speak later.
A good day to you, gentlemen. Said, boys, you said about time you were out on patrol. He's like, oh, yeah. Gets up and he follows you out and sets off down the street, twiddling his truncheon.
What's your thoughts, Aaron?
Are we out of earshot of the police?
I imagine so, probably, yeah. I'll wait.
No, they seem pretty inept and pretty disinterested. Yeah, Sleepy Village. I guess they've not got much to do. They could have put a bit more effort into looking into it, but like they've said, it's highly unlikely that somebody will be popping in and burgling books. I'm coming around to your way of thinking now.
The thing is, Aaron, I don't want to say it in front of Tom, but I went round the back and I had a look, and I noticed like there was a spot in the woods. Looked like someone had been stood there watching his property. Looked like someone had been stood there for a while. I checked it out from his upstairs. It looks on his bedroom.
Straight into his bedroom. That's peculiar.
Well, not straight into it. It's not that high. I mean, but it can see whether his curtains are shut and lights are off, and what have you. Really, you'd be able to see he's asleep or not.
Okay, we should.
I've got an idea maybe for later on, but we'll worry about that later. I want to see this Mrs. Mountford to start with, and let's see what she's got to say and see what she knows about old Tommy boy.
Maybe she's the one that's been taking his books. She left with a book, didn't she? Maybe he's lost track of how many books she's took.
Not a bad shout. I mean, who comes back for a book 2 years later? Who wants to borrow a book after 2 years? She could have walked to York and gone to the library and walked back in that time, more than once. Anyway, let's go knock on the door. Let's see if she's in. We'll have a walk down.
Okay, so you follow the directions given to you by the sergeant and find their house. It's not too far from where the school is. Knocking on the door, and it's answered by this gentleman.
All right, mate. How we doing?
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for a Mrs. Mountford. She about?
That would be my wife. And why is it you're looking for Mrs. Mountford for my wife?
Oh, nothing. It's just she's a teacher around here, isn't she?
She is.
It's just about some books, I guess. Really, no more than that. And one of his old mates, Tom.
Sounds a little vague. Well, what is it about this? Who's this Thomas?
Well, I mean, he's one of our good mates. Look, I don't want to explain myself twice to you and then to your wife. Let's get inside, get that kettle on, and then we can all sit down and have a chat about this.
Okay, you can make a persuade roll. Or a charm. Well, it's up to you. What do you think? Maybe a charm.
Charm.
It could go either. It could go with either, I
I'm gonna
suppose.
persuade. I'll chuck a persuade. No, I won't.
He says, I don't know what your game
I
is.
certainly won't.
I don't know what your game is, sir, but I'll not have mysterious gentleman callers looking for my wife. And he slams the door.
Look, we're not. I bang on the door again.
Right, he sort of there's a bit of a pause, and then the door opens on the chain. He says, look, if you don't go away, I'll call the police.
Look, we've already spoke to police. Look, there's nothing here. We're not here for anything nefarious. We just want to chat to your wife. Look, she left our mate Tom's house, borrowing some books from his uncle's library. There's something weird going off with him. We just want to have a chat to her. She's probably spoke to him a bit more than we have. She's a woman. They'll speak about different stuff. You know, she might know it. She might just have a little bit of that woman's intuition about how he's feeling. Oh, you know how it is. Look, we're only here after just a chat with her, just about our mate Tom. We care about him, and that's all it is. We want to see that he's all right.
Right, so he's about to just close the door and tell you to get lost again when there's you hear a woman's voice behind you. So what is it? What's going on? Turns around. I can hear him like commenting on these two men have turned up the door, want to speak to you. Something about Thomas and a book. What's all this about? She goes, oh well, he's like ushered out the way, and you see this Elizabeth. See her face appear at the crack in the door.
Hi up. Are you Mrs. Mountford?
I am. You're the gentleman that was at Mr. Kimball's house.
You must have met our mate Tom.
Only on a few occasions. What is it? What's all this? What's all this about?
We just want to have a chat to you, you know. We've put one and one together, and we might have come to 2, we might have come to 5, I don't know. But you're the best person to sort that out for us. Well,
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Well, let's put it this way: it starts with books, and it might get a bit weirder. I don't know. Do you know about Tom? Do you know what he's been through? Do you know what he went through?
He seems a nice young man.
I'll agree with you. He's a
I only spoken to him on a few occasions. With
just
he came to the school. Well, in fact, it was about books. He came to the school and we discussed the possibility of sometime in the future donating his uncle's books collection to the school and to the local library.
Yeah. And what you were happy to take them, or?
Well, it only had what I'd call a preliminary discussion. There were no details exchanged. I was certainly interested, and I happened to remember that his Uncle Douglas had owned a first edition copy of the Time Machine, and he'd offered to lend it to me a long time ago. But I never got the opportunity to take it, to borrow it. So I, like I say, it just brought that to my mind, and Thomas was kind enough to let me borrow it.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Is that the only book you've ever borrowed off him?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Ah, right. I mean, let's put it this way. Tom's not big into H.G. Wells or anybody else like that. He's probably not much of a reader. So you're taking that book off him, you're probably doing him a favour. But I don't know. When you've been there, has he ever mentioned out about anyone breaking in?
He seemed a little off today. Perhaps a little more little more timid than he usually seems. But no, he didn't mention anything of the sort. Is that what's happened? Is that why he was on edge?
Yeah. Look, I mean, we turned up. He were a bit jittery, bit more jittery than, let's say, we've seen him in a while since, the stuff happened back in the day. And I mean, from there, he's just been going on about these break-ins and having some books stolen.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware.
Someone breaking in and stealing fiction books.
Well, it does seem a little odd.
Exactly.
Well, like I say, I mean, I do have I have borrowed this one, which is borrowed this one today, which is a first edition copy, but I'm not aware that it's massively valuable.
Would anyone break into an house for books, fiction books?
No, it does seem a little strange. You put it that way. I'm afraid I don't know what more to tell you, Mr.
Yeah.
I'm afraid my husband's getting rather agitated. Unless there's something more, something important.
No, we just wanted to speak to you. My name's Albert. Anyway, Albert Redfield. I'll be about for a couple of days. Me and my mate here, Aaron. And I don't know. We just want to see Tom right, but I don't know. There's something not right.
Well, I hope Mr. Kimball is feeling better.
Yeah.
Well, a good day to you, sir. And she closed the door.
Do I notice anything about her that does anything seem off, or is she?
I suppose you can make a psychology check.
Where are we? This will probably be terrible. Psychology. Oh no, not too bad.
Oh
yeah!
Wow.
No, you're fine.
Absolutely fine. There's nothing. Yeah, you can't.
Damn it! Wasted roll.
Yeah,
best roll I have in it.
You didn't. No hint of anything untoward, or that you were holding anything back, or.
No, from her or her husband.
No.
All right.
No, he just seemed a generally, boorish, overprotective husband. Kind of typical.
I don't know. We walked down path, I guess, away from house, and like, what do you think then, out, right? What's the
story seems plausible. I mean, why would you steal books in ones as far as that goes? I don't know. I think they probably. I'm starting to wonder what's happened to the uncle. I know that's a completely different path to traverse at this moment in time, but
it's been missing.
It just keeps getting stranger and stranger, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
we just deal with what's in front of us. Maybe we fix the window, keep an eye on the back, and just keep him company for a couple of days. See if we can straighten him out a bit. Take him to the pub.
Let's get him out of that house.
Yeah.
Let's get him out of that house. Let's
introduce him to
Paul. Yeah, let's get him out. We need to have a chat with him, a good chat with him. Let's take him for a bit of sea breeze, bit of fresh air across them cliff tops, and yeah. Did just when I were out, did we get anything from the other neighbour with Bertie? Did we get much from them?
Just that Edith was particularly attracted to the uncle. That was
right.
That was really.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll make his way back to house then.
Okay.
To start with. And we'll just. We'll probably not. I don't know. Is there a local pub on where?
Yeah, there's one pub in the entire town, the Black Dog Inn on the again that sit like almost everything sits
Yeah.
around the perimeter of this green.
Round it. All right.
I mean, it's only it's about midday-ish.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the pub
Okay.
just to speak to the landlord, see if he's in.
Okay. So is that both of you or?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head over to the pub. It's not long opened. There's a few locals inside, and the the innkeeper or bartender is cleaning down the bar and exchanging a bit of small talk with a few of the locals. He as you walk in, he looks over and says, "Afternoon, gentlemen. Can I get you a drink?"
Yeah, go on. I'll have a. I'll have a pint. In fact, make it two. My mate Aaron here. I'll have one and all.
Yes, please.
Right you are. I'll bring take yourselves a table. I'll bring it over.
Yeah. We grab a table not too far from bar.
Okay. Right. He sets about pulls a couple of pints and brings them over and takes your money.
You got a minute?
Yeah, sure. What is it? What can I do for you, sir?
Just want to know if you
visitors,
know about...
you tourists.
Yeah, well, visitors, tourists, bit of both. We're here to see a mate. Tom lives up on one of the old cottages on the cliff tops. Tom Kimball, you might have known his uncle.
Yes. What's happened to old Douglas? Is he? We haven't seen him for a long time.
No one has. I don't know. He's sort of gone missing. I think old Douglas has disappeared, and Tom's took over his house.
Oh, I see. Yes, I know. I heard some rumours that he'd passed on.
Has he? Has he not? I don't know. He's just not been seen. If he has, no one knows. Certainly his nephew.
Oh, right. Oh, well. Remember, he used to spend a lot of time down in London. Heard he even thought about moving down there at one time.
Well, maybe so, but you have much to do with him?
Oh, yeah. He used to be a regular down at the down here at the Black Dog.
Anything strike you about him? Strange, unusual?
Not really. He's a nice, good chap. Nice, kind, and pleasant gentleman.
Ever seen out his lad? You know, his nephew Tom. Has he been in here?
No, I haven't seen him. I heard a few people say that somebody moved into Douglas's house, but no, I didn't even know it was a relation, to be honest.
Yeah, he's moved in. He's took over the place. He's looking after it now. It's but I don't know, something not right up there. He's just not settling in. He's struggling up there, and yeah, you know how it is. It's.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. But you know, as a landlord, must have your ear to the ground.
What is it you wanting to know?
Well, I mean, any interesting characters around here? Seen any other? I don't know. Shall we say tourists?
We've had a few tourists in, a few trickling in from up and down the coast, but no, I think you're the only outsiders I've seen for a few days. People don't usually stay. People usually don't stay very long.
Yeah. Had any trouble around here recently?
Oh God, no. No. Apart from maybe carrying out the odd person who's maybe drunk a little bit too much, and he casts a knowing glance at one of his customers.
Yeah, well, you're always going to get them, aren't you? You know, but that's what you get when you run places like this, rough with smooth.
Indeed.
It's just we've had as mate Tommy's had some break-ins and stuff like that, and people nicking stuff, and we just wondered if you'd heard out or
oh God,
I don't know anyone.
I can't remember the last time I heard of any wrongdoing going off around Ravenscar.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I just don't see why anyone would break into somebody's house and nick some books.
No, that is not valuable then.
Fiction.
So he just shrugs and says, "I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if that was valuable or not."
Anyone you think we could have a chat around here who might know him?
I might know what? Sorry.
And might know anything, might have a, be able to be a good person. Who's a busybody around here? And I don't mean them two useless coppers in that place around there, because they're useless.
He chuckles. I don't know. I suppose hanging out here is as good a bet as any.
What time does it get busy?
Probably about 8.
All right, yeah, we might bring his mate Tom down and get him a few pints and try him just to relax a bit and what have you. And
Right, you are. It might be doing good to introduce himself to his neighbours.
well, that's what we thought. So yeah, well, we might pop down later and finish off his pints and pay up.
Okay, says right, you are then, and he goes off to speak to one of his other customers.
Well, I guess we'll make his way back and go see Tom.
Okay. Right, so you can I'll let you both make an idea roll as well.
What's that? Education.
Intelligence. Intelligence is idea and no is education.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so Aaron, it dawns on you. I mean, all this talk about books, that maybe it might be worth like checking out what actual books have gone missing. Maybe there's something of value. What's or at least maybe it'll give some kind of clue.
Okay, yeah. How would we go about doing that, though? I'll pose the question to.
Has he got like has his own? Well, I suppose when we get back to house, I'll go to study and see if have a look through his drawers and stuff. See if he's got like a directory or a list of books or anything. Or is there out in there that gives us?
You would imagine if they were of worth, then he might have, kept a note on which ones he got.
A diary or a ledger or something. Or...
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a library here? Did we say, Phil?
What, a library in the town?
In town, I think I thought you said there were small libraries.
There's a small library in the town. Yeah, in the town hall.
Well, since we're investigating books or apparent book thefts, then maybe the library might be a good place to just poke his head in if we're passing.
You could if you want.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
They might know of Douglas, who was such an avid book reader.
Yep, they might do. Okay, so you while you're passing on, you head over into the town hall, where the library's located on the back corner of the upper floor, and it's calling it a library is probably a little bit of a stretch. It's kind of just a collection of mainly a collection of like reference texts, many of which are like out of date, sets of encyclopedias and a few things like that. Even the person, there's not even a proper librarian. There's kind of somebody who comes to who basically lets you in, unlocks it and lets you in, and even they admit that even the school has a better. Jokingly, they say that even the school has a better selection. But yeah, you're welcome to peruse it if you wish.
Maybe not. Maybe we just lead with try and. I'll ask them about if they knew Douglas Kimball.
So yeah, the new Douglas. And again, they tell, like you've heard from quite a lot of other people that say the commenter is like a kind and pleasant gentleman that used to travel. Always had a book with him whenever he went. Was forever reading. Used to see him in the strangest places as well, with his book, with his head buried in a book. After he stopped his trips down to London.
Stopped his trips down to London. Do you know why he stopped his trips down to London?
I don't know. He was never. His moods seemed to take a downturn after that, if I remember. But we're talking a long time ago. We're talking a good 20 years ago.
Did you get a sense of what kind of books he was into, or if
all kinds of things
were rare, or did he ever try getting books through yourself?
Oh no, I think Douglas's I think Mr. Kimball's personal library was far more extensive than what you can see here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty interesting collection. Any idea of what he's got in his library and what he's got in his collection?
I'm afraid I've never had the privilege of seeing it.
All right.
Mr. Kimball was often away travelled all over the world, by all accounts.
Yeah, so we're here, but might still be doing that.
Maybe.
Well, I guess if you don't know much, I don't know. Is it? Oh, you want to look at Aaron?
No, I just wanted to put my head in just to see if there was anything that they could have helped us out with. But if they don't know Thomas and they don't know Douglas, then yeah, it was just because they were the whole book angle. I was thinking.
Yeah.
We'll maybe I'll try and sell you any dodgy books, have they? Long shot.
No. Mr. I'd spoke to Mrs. Bountford, and apparently young Mr. Kimball, Douglas's nephew, I believe, he'd discussed the possibility of donating some books. I don't know any details.
Yeah, we spoke to that. I think he's on about thinning down the library a little bit and what have you. He's not much of a reader, old Thomas, anyway, so I won't worry too much about that. You might get a look at them at some point in the future.
Well, that would be a great boon.
Yeah. Anyway, cheers for that, love.
Yeah. Skedaddle.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make his way up to back up to house.
Okay. So, but when you get back to the house, Thomas is still resting. He stirs a little bit, but declines to come downstairs. Says he'll hopefully feel better by tea time.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to the library and I want to look through like the desk and stuff like that. And see if I can find any information about like what books he had or any sort of bibliography or anything like that.
Okay. So, aside from a layer of dust that's accumulated since Douglas disappeared, the study is all neat and tidy. There's not a thing out of place. There's carefully ordered, like I said before, there's carefully ordered bookshelves lining 3 walls. There are books of all shapes and sizes and on all subjects, methodically arranged and categorized, identical only in that they were well cared for. So, like I said, aside from that, there's telltale signs of spaces on the walls where several paintings must have been removed. Looking over the desk, it's quite neat and sparse. There's a big blotting pad and some plain some writing paper and pens and an inkwell. There's also a large Rolodex on the desk as well, and there's a couple of drawers.
I'll have a look through Rolodex first before I have a look for before I look through drawers. Anything interested in there?
Okay, and what is Aaron doing?
I'll investigate where the missing paintings are, just to see if how long they've been gone, or if there's any kind of scratch marks, or if they were hiding something, concealing something.
Well, there don't seem to be concealing something. Like I said, there's just like the spots, the like square, where it's a little the wallpapers, wallpapers less faded, where it's less faded, where these pictures used to hang.
I'll just help look at the study, look at the desk.
Okay, so you can check over the desk, I suppose, while
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So looking over. Looking over the Rolodex, it's like a. So Douglas has obviously kept like a methodical record of all the books he owns, and where they're even down to the shelf and the position, the like numbered along that shelf where that book would be located. So it should be easy to like figure out which actual books are missing.
Yeah, so I'll have a look then, I guess, and.
Okay, so that'll probably maybe take you a while. So right, so Aaron, while Al's doing that, you look over the desk. So there's nothing like I said. There's just like some big blotting pad and writing materials on top of the desk, as well as Rolodex. In the drawers, there's more writing materials. A couple of drawers are empty, and you can make a spot hidden though while you're checking the desk. So you can, if you want, you can either spend luck or you can push it if you want.
It's not letting me, I don't think. Oh yeah, you can. You have to click it. Yeah, I'll spend the luck to pass.
Okay. Oof, blimey.
Ooh, 11. Wow.
Don't forget spending through your luck. If you're forced to make a luck, it reduces your luck roll as well.
Yeah.
So so it makes you less and less lucky.
Yeah.
Which can be dangerous. But anyway, so yeah, you're checking on the desk, and when you go to close one of the empty bottom drawers after you've had a look through, and you hear, as you slam it shut, you hear something shift inside. As if something's moved inside. You pull the drawer back out and check it, and there's a false bottom in the drawer, and manage to get your fingers under the edges of it and lift it up, and there's like a journal.
Oh, I'll nudge Albert and bring it up on the desk and have a look.
Okay, right. As you lift it up, a photograph falls out of the journal. Which I can show you.
Oh, okay. Anything on the back of it?
Yes, on the back is written, "To my darling Douglas, love Martha."
Oh, okay. Who's Martha then, Albert?
I don't know. That's another question.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I shall show you. I shall show Aaron the journal, and then I can tell you what you find in the Rolodex. So.
Oh.
There you go. So, studying the Rolodex and maybe nipping back and forth and checking the shelves, you find that there's actually 11 books missing, not 6. Not counting the time machine that Elizabeth Mountford took. So the books that are missing, there's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, Carmilla by Sheridan Lafanu, Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket by Edgar Allan Poe, and The Novel of the Black Seal by Arthur Machen. There's also 4 other books that seem to be missing, but you can't find, whereas the others you can find the exact spots where they're missing, you can't seem to find any empty spaces for where these other 4 books are missing, and the books' titles aren't listed. There's just the it's reduced to an acronym. An acronym? That's not right. The initials of the title, not an acronym. That's
Okay. What are
they? So one is SOTCOTP, Anonymous, 1881. AYIA K, Augustus, Duke of Saxe-Gotha, Altenburg, 1805. JAHF ASOP, Bayard Taylor, 1870. TM Matthew Lewis, 1796.
Okay. I mean, Aaron, there's 4 books missing here. I've got acronyms for them, but no, nothing other than that. There's no space for them on shelf. What you got in that journal?
I've not actually had a chance to read it yet. I was too busy typing, writing all that up. So it looks synopsis of Douglas Kimball's journal. Do you want me to read it out? It's quite lengthy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Give me the meat.
It looks like the start of like an autobiography or something. He's writing about himself. Spent much of his time in London, indulged himself lively, sometimes risky nightlife of Soho. Yeah. Particularly mentioned the Lobster Pot and the Clam House. Clam House seemed romantically involved with Martha Tully, cabaret performer on the Soho circuit. Clear, this is the happiest time of his life. Is this written in his hand, Phil, would we know? Or is this...
Yes.
It seems to be third person, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's written in his hand. It's just that's just because it's like a summary, and then then there's
Okay, sorry. Speaks of feeling a blissful release and feelings of liberation, though for undisclosed reasons it seems this relationship was somewhat secretive. After several years, for reasons that remain unspoken, the relationship suddenly ended. Clearly heartbroken, Douglas ceased his visit to London, retreating to his home in Ravenscar, where he assumed a much more reclusive lifestyle. He took to wandering alone at the moonlight along the cliff-top paths and at the dark woods behind his home. His new love was his books, particular type of fantastic fiction that had been the world of his childhood. Everywhere he went, he would take one of his beloved books, the only company he could now bear. And so he continued for many years. Over time, his emotional wounds began to heal, and he started to take a more active part in society again. But still, he felt alone, an outsider. Then, about 3 years ago, something happened that he thought would never happen again. And then this is written in what looks to be a lady's. Well, I'm not sure.
Well, it's his hand. It's his
hand. Is it still his hand? Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's an actual quote from the word.
It's an actual quote from his journal. Yeah. As has been my habit of late, I was reading to those interred about me today from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Excellent work. I was so engrossed that I had failed to notice as the day's light faded. I had an audience. Neither of us spoke for some time, our eyes transfixed. The hour was late when I finally returned home. It is as if a veil has been lifted. For the first time since Martha, I can feel something again. and so began a new friendship. Their nightly liaisons continued, though not without conflict. Convention is the problem. No one will ever accept our friendship as something normal. Sometimes I want to just turn from these conflicting impulses, and then sometimes all I can think of is the smell of him. Without warning, there is a gap of at least several weeks in the journal, and then one final entry around the date of Douglas's disappearance. Many times he has asked if I would leave this place and go with him. He promises me a life of amazing adventure, of sights, tastes, and sensations beyond imagining. Tonight, I have finally made my decision. I shall go and be with him and our friends below. And there it ends. I'm guessing that's the last entry. Is that what it says then? Yeah, the last entry, the final entry.
Yeah.
Wow. He seems to have run away with another gentleman.
Martha, and then a bloke.
Do we tell Thomas? Is this something that I can't see this being common knowledge in the town? It must have been secret.
Well, no one's seen him.
So,
I've got an idea.
Let's hear it.
Well, I don't know. Sounds a bit crazy. I don't want you to think I'm going mental, Aaron. What? Books are going missing. Yeah?
Yes.
Douglas likes reading.
Ah. I think I see where you're going with this. Do you think he's coming back for his books?
I mean, I'm jumping to conclusion. I'm just going off what we know. He likes books. He likes reading. He says in his journal he loves reading. He finds escape in his books. His books have gone missing. You know, what did he say? He loved 20,000 Leagues Under Sea.
He was just engrossed by it.
Well, that's a book that's gone missing. So, my next question is, that there's no answer for yet, is who's this other bloke? His audience? Where do the woods go, Phil? How sort of far do the woods stretch?
The stretch
Are they quite large? Or?
Yeah, it's quite big. They run sort of north and south along the western side of the town, but they also but beyond. So they stretch much further north, much further south. Probably a couple of mile or so in each direction, and about the same, and at least a couple of miles west as well into the hills. So
what time
it covers
is it?
Quite a bit. I would say it's coming up to maybe about mid-afternoon. There was another thing as well about the in the Rolodex. The Rolodex also contains references to paintings, to 9 paintings.
Do we know what they are?
It's it's again, it lists due to not due to, but following Douglas's methodic,
So do we know which ones are missing then?
Well, they're all missing.
So all of them on the wall are missing.
Yes. There's 9 spots.
Okay.
There's 9 spots. There's 9 empty spots on the wall, and there's 9 entries in this Rolodex listing 9 paintings.
Anything about them?
There's one. So there's the name. There's a name and name of the title of the painting, and the authors and when they were painted as well. So the first one is Apollo with Hyacinthus and Cyparius singing and playing, by Ivanov Alexander Andreevich. I'm probably not pronouncing that.
Seamless pronunciation.
From 1834. Then there's The Fisherman, and that just says artist unknown. Then there's The Snake Charmer by Jean-Léon Gérôme, 1879. Then Awakening, artist unknown. The Demons by David Rakier, 1612 to 1661. Hunger, artist unknown. Saturn Devouring His Son, Francisco Goya, 1819. Child at Play, Richard Upton Pickman, 1919. Dinner Guest, Richard Upton Pickman, 1920.
Okay.
So the probably something I didn't mention, but it doesn't look like these paintings haven't been long removed either.
We need to ask. Can we look around the house? Just see. Did we find any of these paintings? I guess we wouldn't have found these when we were looking around the house, would we?
No, but you can make an idea roll.
I've got an idea. Before we do, how long's he been missing?
Nearly 2 years.
Yeah, and Dinner Guest were only painted in 1920.
Yep. So it must have acquired that not long before he disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah. Pass that idea roll.
Okay, so you have looked everywhere, bar the attic. There's a hatch to the attic on the landing.
Yeah, I just right, Aaron. Let's get upstairs. Let's go in the attic, but got to be quiet because I don't want to disturb Tom. He's having his beauty sleep in there, but he's gonna, let's just go. It's the only place we've not looked in here. Let's go have a nosy.
Yeah, okay. I'll just make a note that break-ins, books, now paintings.
We just have a sort of gently, sort of like carefully placing my feet, walk up the stairs, and to quietly without making a sound, or as little as possible.
Okay. So you creep up the stairs, and maybe the stairs creak a little bit, make you cringe a bit, and you manage to find a foot ladder to nearby that allows you to gain access to the attic through the trapdoor. And climbing up, there's a light at the top, just above, a light pull light at the top. And turn it on, you find yourself in a cobweb festooned attic, dimly, as well as the light above that you've turned on above the trapdoor. It's dimly illuminated by a single small window in one of the gable ends of the house. And in the furthest shadowy corner, bundled in old sheets, are the paintings that have been removed from the study.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll have a look at the paintings.
Okay, so this is the first painting. Just let me know when you want to look at the next.
Yeah.
Okay, I shall close that one. And the second painting.
Okay.
And the third painting.
Yeah.
And the fourth painting.
Interesting. I can see why you took that down.
That's nature,
yeah.
The next one.
Yeah.
Right. The fifth painting.
Okay. That was a bit weird.
And the sixth painting. which is more of a pencil, a big pencil sketch than a painting. Actually.
Yeah. What's that one? The Devourer, is it?
The Hunger.
Hunger, that's it.
I think he's shown them in order they listed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the 7th painting.
I can see why he took these down.
No, it's very famous.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready for the next?
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus. Child at play.
Is this one that were painted in 1920s?
1919.
Yeah.
Okay. These last two are quite disturbing because the skill of the painter is like beyond anything you've ever seen before. They almost look. It's almost like looking through onto a real thing, looking through a window rather than looking onto it, looking at a painting.
I mean, that one's got a light bulb in it.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Okay, and the last one.
Cool. What? Last one, yeah. Oh.
Dinner guest.
Okay.
Is that a name on that stone? Can't quite make it out. Master? Eesh. Are they all in the same frames, Phil?
Yeah, that's more a case of I just found some frames to put them in to make them look a bit nicer. That's not of any relevance.
Okay. Yeah, so they sort of start off relatively normal and then get sort of stranger and stranger from there. Yeah. Do we know if Thomas took these down or?
You don't know. No, you'd have to ask him. He's not mentioned. I don't think you've even asked him about the paintings.
No.
No, we didn't.
No. Anything else up in attic?
No, nothing.
All right. I guess we'll cover the paintings back up. I'm slightly disturbed by them.
Yes,
yeah,
so
we'll
seeing the last two will require a sanity roll from you both as well.
Oh.
Because of that, due to the like really sort of vivid and hyper realistic sort of nature of them.
With me extremely low sanity.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, wow. No sanity loss then.
I've seen some horrors in my time.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll go back downstairs then.
Okay.
Now, anywhere else we can check in the house that we've not looked?
To best of your knowledge, you've been to every single part of the house.
Okay. Thoughts, Aaron?
No, slightly disturbed by what we've just witnessed. Do we even bring this up? Do we even mention this to him? No.
Are you joking? Do we mention it? Bloody hell, yeah.
You reckon? He's already circling drain, poor lad.
Well, what we're going to get from him if we don't ask him?
I guess it helps with trying to put to bed what happened to his uncle, or at least opening up another line of investigation.
I tell you what, I'm going to go ask him. You know, I'm going to go speak to him. I'd quietly walk towards his bedroom.
Okay.
and I don't know, is his door shut? Is it ajar or?
Yeah, it'd be shut. Yeah.
I sort of gently rap on it and try the door.
Okay, right. You knock on the door and try it. It's not locked or anything. So, door pushes open, and Thomas kind of like stirs and looks up. I'll be down later. Still quite a bit of a headache.
Yeah, I just come to check on you, mate. See how you are.
Right, he nods and sort of says thank you. And when you sort of hesitates, is there something you wanted?
Yeah, there is. Just a quick one. What's with blank spaces on wall in study?
So, paintings. My uncle's paintings. There's not to my taste at all. I took them down and put them in the attic.
Yeah. What? I guess what you didn't. Yeah, they are a bit weird, aren't they?
You've seen them.
Well, we stood around here waiting for you. You're kipping in here, getting your head down, and you want us to help you out, and we're having a look, and we're just them. Well, I just thought I'd go have a nosy upstairs. You said make yourself at home with mates. I've had a look round. What do you expect me to do? Twiddle my thumbs and drink brew all day?
This is he looks a little bit more than a little bit embarrassed. It's distasteful, offensive. I was concerned if anybody should see them. So not only to save myself from any embarrassment or damage to my reputation, but also my uncle.
Yeah, and I'd say so as well, because a couple of them, mate, I'm not being funny, but they creep me out a bit.
Indeed.
Look, I'm worried about you. We've come across things, and there's just something not right here.
Finally. So, you don't think it's my nerves at all, then?
Well, I think that's part of it. I don't think that's helping. But
no, I would agree.
I'll tell you this though. I don't think someone's nicked your books.
Right, he's for the first time since after he first welcomed you to the house, he looks relaxed a bit. He suddenly looks suddenly relaxed, and a smile crossed his face. He says, "Just finally, somebody, some acceptance, some recognition that I'm not just going crazy."
Look, Tom. Put it this way. Look, mate, you've known me a long time, and I've been a journalist now for a while since we left, and I like to work on facts. I like to know what's what. I like to know what's out there. Yeah, and I don't like to say out until I know what's what. And I'm sort of coming to your way of thinking now. I don't know. Look, give me your take on it. Give me your view on this.
Says I don't know what I don't know what to make of it, Albert. I've told you everything I know.
Have you ever seen anyone? Have you seen anyone outside at any point?
No, I've never seen anybody. I've told you I've heard things. The only things I've seen are things have been moved about the house, doors left open, lights on, and I've heard noises, but I've never actually seen anyone.
Well, I can believe that and all a little bit. I think. I don't know. That one's messing with me head a bit. I'll admit we're on that one, Tom. That one is messing with me head a bit.
Like I say, that last burglary, that last break-in when they took some more of the books. That was the one time I maybe came close to catching somebody, but by the time I got to the study, they were gone.
Well, what did you hear them in study?
I heard someone Yes, I heard somebody downstairs in the study.
Well, I'll believe you on that and all.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, sort yourself out, get yourself up, and then, let's have a chat about it, because Aaron might want to tell you a few things and all.
Okay. So it seems
I'll go put kettle on.
right. It seems a little bit more optimistic as he gets out of bed and gets dressed.
Is there out in his bedroom or anything that catches my eye, or out that's out of anything unusual or
Not really. No. 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 I wouldn't say so.
no? Right, Tom, get yourself out of bed. Stop wallowing around in your pit, and I'll go put kettle on.
So, right. I'll be downstairs. I'll be down in a moment.
Right, and I'll go down and put kettle on.
Okay. So by this time, it's probably getting round to sort of like tea time.
Yeah. I suppose while I've gone downstairs, I fix some up as well.
Okay.
In food-wise in kitchen, for him.
Okay. So Aaron? Is Aaron doing anything?
Yeah, well, I've got him. I'll just sit him down and ask him what if he knew about his uncle.
Says very little really. He used to be a English and history professor at York, and but when his family when his parents died, they left him quite a bit of money, so he took to travelling.
We've been pottering around. I'll just try and get over the fact that we've been pottering around town while he's been resting and just asking people about his uncle, and he's got nothing to worry about with regards to any kind of secrets that he had that the townspeople didn't know, and he was quite well liked before he disappeared. Nobody's quite sure what's happened or where he's gone. Everybody seems to be under the impression that he's travelling, but it's a bit disconcerting to know that not many people know that you're here, and you must have been here. What?
Well, only just over a month.
And you've not thought to
A couple of
get
months
out
maybe.
there a bit,
Well, that was my intention. I did have I was busy myself straightening the house and moving into the house and making it my own. I did have some discussions with Mrs. Montford and the people at the town hall about the potential of donating my uncle's library to them, since I have no real interest in it. But then things took a turn for the worse.
What, with this series of break-ins? Is that what you're alluding to?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So maybe that's just what we'll get on top of it now. We can see that something's amiss and that somebody might be coming in and pinching your books.
Well, I'm glad you and Al are here.
We're here, mate. We'll sort you out. Don't worry about it. We'll get to the bottom of it together. If that's what friends do. There were talks of us going to the pub later anyway. Would you like to go to the pub with us?
Perhaps.
I shout through from. I can sort of hear him. I just shout through from kitchen. Aaron, you're going to tell him about that journal?
Oh yes, sorry. We did find your uncle. Well, what we believe to be your uncle's journal, and I've knocked it off the screen now. What did you put it as a handout, Phil?
Let me have a look.
Fire it back up. I mean, just start trying to get Cliff. Well, the Cliff Notes where your uncle was involved with a lady down in London. Lady called Martha. She was a showgirl, for want of a better term. Things kind of fizzled out over the space of about 3 years, from what we saw. From what we read, we can show you all this. We found it. It's this secret journal in his in his desk drawer. But yeah, after things kind of fizzled out with Martha, and he came back and stuck his head in his books. He seems to have. I don't really know how to say this to you, mate. We are, coming across as being impolite, as it were. But he seems to have, taken it with a gentleman. Is that anything that you were aware of, or?
I was beginning to suspect as much with the nature of some of the
Artwork.
The artwork.
Yeah. Well, I can show you his diary, and you can have a little read yourself and see what you'll think of it if if anything kind of jogs any kind of memories or shakens anything up for you, or anything that you come across in the house.
Right, he takes it and thanks you. Says, I'll look at it. I'll look at it later.
You do that, mate. Might be some closure in there for you. Shall we go get that brew?
I come into room and stuff with some food and bits and pieces and what have you. I start putting it down and I go, right, Tom, we're mates. Let's get to it. I think your uncle's breaking in.
Is that beg your pardon?
I told you straight to it. I think your uncle's breaking in.
Why would it on earth would it be my uncle? Why would my uncle be breaking in? Why would he not just come back to his house?
Well, let's look at it this way. Your uncle's not been seen for a while, has he?
Indeed, he hasn't.
No. Right. Have you read that? Have you flicked through that journal that Aaron's just gave you?
I haven't.
No, probably not. Because you're not right good at reading. We ain't got all day. Yeah, it'd be bedtime before that's finished reading that. Anyway, so let me tell you. Yeah, your uncle in there clearly says he loves 20,000 Leagues Under Sea. Yeah, He even wrote it in there. Well, guess what book's missing from your shelf?
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Exactly. Well done. You're a detective soon, Tom.
That's perhaps a little bit of a tenuous connection, though, isn't it? Coincidence?
Maybe so. But other fiction books are missing. Yeah, other fiction books are missing. Right. Who knows this house better than you?
Well, my uncle.
Exactly.
I would presume.
So, if your uncle knows your house better than you, he disappeared from here. Yeah, he met this bloke. We don't know where he's gone. He's run off with this other bloke. Yeah. Now, he knows how to get into this house. 6 books are missing, 6 fiction books. Yeah, there's some other books missing. We don't know what they are yet because they're only acronyms. Can't find anything in them.
But why this secret? Why so secretive?
Well, good question. I don't really know that, but I'll tell you something else as well. You know them woods back of your house?
Yes.
Well, I've been and had a look at them. I went and had a look at them woods earlier when we were here, and I saw a spot where I think somebody's been standing watching your house, looking, been able to see your bedroom. So, sees when curtains are shut, sees when lights are off. Pricks a prime time for them to come in here.
Right, it sort of nods, but you can see that's maybe like slightly unnerved him a little bit.
Look, I know it might unnerve you, but you want truth, don't you? We need to get to the bottom of this.
Indeed.
Tiptoeing around these lies and stuff like that ain't going to help you, Tom.
Indeed, it's better we resolve the situation.
Exactly. So, what do you want to do about it?
What do you suggest? I'm not. I'm at a loss. This is all a bit of a bombshell.
Aaron?
The first thing that comes to my mind, mate, is we scope out tonight and see if he comes back. We know which way he's going to stand and look, and we know which way he's going to try and come in. Right,
Tom. Has this been quite regular? These noises, these so-called break-ins.
Well, I would say so. Yes, I was like, was it 2 weeks? 2 definite ones over 2 weeks. Anyway, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if the rest was just me. Was just me losing my marbles.
Well, let's pretend it's not for once, yeah. And I think what we'll go from here is, well, I won't mind having a spot around in them woods later on tonight.
Very well, if you think.
And other thing, I noticed you kept some at front wall. A little memento, shall we say?
My rifle, yes. Well, it used to be. I used to keep it in the attic, but of late I've kept it loaded in the cloakroom. felt it.
Well, all I'll
I
say
felt
is at least you've
justified
kept
in
it
doing
clean.
so. Oh, I wasn't.
That's fine, but
I
at
wasn't
least you
trying to
kept
hide
it
it.
clean and serviceable. At least your standards aren't dropped too far, let's say, anyway, on that front. So, I don't know. That's my thoughts. Aaron?
Yeah, I think we're aligned. I'm not sure. Not sure it's going to take both of us wandering around in the woods, but I mean, I'm open to ideas or clarification on what you'd like to do.
Well, I'll take woods.
Maybe
I'll
we stay
take,
in the house and business as usual, as it were. So going to bed at the same time, night lights off at the same time.
Well, I'd say so, but I'll take that old rifle and see if I can notice anyone kicking about.
Christ's sake, don't shoot that big dog next door.
Well, if I do, it won't be a travesty.
Make sure you shoot it a couple of times.
Oh, don't worry. If I'm shooting that dog, it's going down like one of them uns. So, that's my plan.
Okay.
Tom,
Business as
Aaron,
usual in front, and then you in the back.
why not?
Sounds like a plan.
Well, if I'm honest, I think you should take a seat over in that corner in study.
Yes.
And we go from there.
Okay.
Anything else we need to have a look at before tonight? Anything else that I don't know that suppose that comes up, Phil, or out that I don't know that Tom would allude to?
Any other means of entrance to the house?
No. Other than wind. Well, you've checked. Yeah, I mean, any window's a potential entry point, isn't it? And both the doors, I suppose, are potential entry points.
Yeah, the window's the weakest one though. That's the
study window.
yeah. So I suppose that's as main access point that we'd suspect. I don't know what's it like outside. Is it getting dark or?
It won't be dark for another few hours yet.
Okay. Aaron, what else do we need to do? Have we got any way of finding out anything about these books with just the initials?
Well, I suppose you can make an idea roll, I guess. Right thing. Okay, so Aaron, the fact that everything's so neatly arranged and categorized in the study, possibly the one thing that stands out about the entry of these books, of these 4 books in the Rolodex, is there's unlike everything else, there's no like shelf mentioned or category that they're put in. So maybe it might be worth checking to see if there's anything that stands out as being unusual on the shelves.
Yeah. So check over the shelves and making notes. Looking for book names that start with the letters that we've got, or if it's in a chronological
We'll just have a feel around the shelves.
Sorry?
So we'll just have like a feel around the shelves as well. Anything that looks,
okay,
sort of spend a bit of time looking over it. Anything like untoward, out of place, at each point.
Right. Okay then. So you can make a spot in with bonus dice, I think, actually.
Yeah. easy.
Okay, so on the top section of one of the bookshelves, there's you're checking along, and a section of one of the books isn't actually books. It's a false front that's meant that just like got like a fake books, and
Okay.
it's covering like basically a hidden like a secret panel, and behind it is an empty space.
Oh. As in just a blank empty, kind of feeling anything.
So
like,
it's a
put
blank
my hand
empty
in and-
space, but you can see that the from perhaps from maybe the traces of dust that'll have no doubt collected there, like on the other rest of the shelves. There's evidence that there was some books removed from here, but there were, for some reason, they were hidden.
Ah. So we know where the missing books were kept.
Yeah.
But there's nothing else to suggest that.
No. Probably the only thing you've got to go on are the names of some of the authors of some of the books.
Okay. Anyway, have we got anything with the authors other than the Rolodex?
Not specifically, but there are as well as fiction books and everything else. There are sort of lots of reference books and encyclopedias and books on art. And...
I guess I'll pull out the reference books and encyclopedias, and I'll sort of have a flick through for like Matthew Lewis, 1796. So
okay, so you can make if you want to do that, you can make a library use roll, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll help.
Okay.
Oh, it's all right, man.
You can probably don't want to spend luck on that, but you can push it if you want.
No.
If you want to give a reason, I mean, that's probably going to be spend more time on it.
Yeah, I just I guess. Yeah, I guess I sort of pull down all the books and I sort of divvy them up between me and Aaron, and just be like, right, you take sort of the first couple of names, I'll take the other two names, and we'll sort of try and divide and conquer. I scribble the names down on a piece of paper and I stick them on the table, and just so we can both have a look.
Okay.
A look for them through the books.
Okay. Go on then, so
library
I'll see you
use.
spend some extra time doing that then. Oh,
There we go.
wow. Okay, right. So it takes you a few more hours. So by the time you finish, it's getting late. It's probably about 10 o'clock at night.
And we find nothing.
You do find something, yes.
Oh.
You do find something. So it quickly becomes apparent why, in this day and age, why Douglas would have hidden these books, as he could. It would have, at the very least, damaged his reputation, potentially risked social ostracization, and possibly even prison time.
Oh. Do go on.
Through the implications. So the first one you find is the book by Matthew Lewis, which is
PM.
TM, yes, The Monk.
Oh, TM. The what? The Monk?
The Monk from
Oh, yeah.
1796. It might actually, of all the books in the library, this might actually be of quite valuable as well.
Okay.
So basically, like, obviously you don't know the entire contents of the book, and you've only able to find like a brief synopsis of the of some of these books. So basically, this one, The Monk, is about the lead character falls in love with a young novice monk called Rosario, And though Rosario is later revealed to be a woman in disguise named Matilda, there's an obvious sort of gay subtext to the book.
Yeah.
And then you've got the one by Augustus Duke of Saxe-Gotha-Altenburg, which is A Year in Arcadia, Kylenian. And it is it's a noted novel for it being one of the earliest known novels that centers on an explicitly all-male love affair that's set in ancient Greece. And it's a German novel, and it features several couples, several gay couples that are quite explicit about and clear about how they fall in love and overcoming obstacles till they're able to live a happy life. And then there's another one by Bayard Taylor, which is Joseph and His Friend: A Story of Pennsylvania. And it again is the story of a newly engaged young man who then finds himself falling in love with another man. And that's it. You can't find, you struggle to find anything on the last one, as there's no author given.
But I'm going to say it's probably another, like, novel that's got, like, homosexuality and stuff in it and things like that. I guess. Seems as other three are.
Yeah.
Which sort of fits in with his diary entries, running away with another man. From there. Aaron, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But also, it's weird how maybe his taste in art changed as well when he maybe came across this man.
Potentially, yeah. I don't know. Has he been seduced?
I don't know.
Well, I can see why he's in these books anyway.
Yeah, and now they've gone missing, so maybe that pays more to the fact that he's come back from to pinch his own books back.
If they've gone missing, who else would have known they were here? Because even Thomas didn't know they were here.
Yeah, I think you're onto something.
So this only points one way for me. Well, I don't know. Is it dark outside now, Phil?
It is, yes. Like I say, it's probably going on about 11 o'clock now.
All right. Well, what I would suggest is
Thomas has fallen asleep in the sitting room in an armchair.
I'm going to go for a walk anyway, Aaron, and maybe you should knock out them lights.
Yeah, I'll do so. Do you want me to keep an eye on you, or are you gonna be all right?
Well,
kind of signaling system.
Let's not worry about that. You'll know if there's a signal. So I guess I walked at front entrance and I put my shoes on. I go in the closet and I take his rifle. I check it's loaded.
Yep.
And from there, and I sort of make my way out the front door and the sort of the round quietly, sort of around the long way around the neighbour's house, is into the woods, and I sort of don't want to stand at the spot where someone's been stood, but I want to stand sort of behind it, away from it.
Yeah.
But I can see the spot. I can see the house.
Yeah. Okay, and what's Aaron doing?
I will post up in the study. Try and get Thomas out of sight without waking him up, like maybe cover him up or. I'll leave him for company just in case. And I'll do the same. I'll get out of sight and I'll just hunker down and listen for anything from Albert.
Were you sort of waiting? Were you doing that? Were you hiding?
So wherever the window is, I don't want to be looking directly at it in case someone comes
Alright,
down
okay.
or around. But I want to be able to see it, but not
Right. Okay.
be visible, as it were.
And all lights out. Yep.
All lights out, yeah. Skulking in the chair. I tell you what, I'll just make sure that all lights out and all doors are shut as well.
Okay.
Including the one that we're in.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, Albert, you can make a luck roll. Okay.
No, I don't.
And oh God, I keep forgetting. Aaron, yeah. So Aaron can make a Constitution roll. So the like hours drag by. It's look at last time you looked at your checked your watch. It's like going on to 2 o'clock in the morning. But you almost start to nod, but you keep fighting it off, and you're almost nodding again when you notice in the dark the door to the study is slowly opening.
How switched on have I been? And would I have heard somebody coming? Would I have known if it was Albert?
Yeah, that's the first thing you know. Like say you keep nodding, and you've not heard anything. But yeah, like say you just see in the dark. You can just make out the door to the study is slowly being pushed open.
Do I see the door open? As in, can I see out into the hall, or is it opening?
No,
up
it opens into the study. You can see the door. You can't see who's opening the door.
Okay,
the door's
cool.
opening towards you.
I'll stay deathly still and just deathly silent and just sit
Okay,
there.
there's a little bit of muted sort of moonlight sort of filtering in through the bay windows, but not much because it's quite cloudy outside. So yeah, we are sort of hidden in the shadows. You see a figure comes in, sneaks in into the studies. Sort of, you can see he's crouched down and like trying to be quiet. And you can make a. Well, no, in fact, it won't. I don't think it need a spotting. So there's something odd about the gait of the walk. And as this sort of like walk clear, like maybe clear, you get a clearer view of them, and the figures silhouetted against the window. You can see the back. They've got the back is almost looks like they've got a hunched back, and the legs bend at the knee the wrong way. And you can see that as you look, you can see the what at first you took to be like big sort of big hobnail boots, are actually look more akin to big hooves, and the head and the head on the shoulders is you can see you can clearly see this like almost canine looking snout.
Does it look like one of those things that we saw in the pictures?
It does bear a striking resemblance to one of those things in the pictures, and you can make a sanity roll.
I'd fucking scream out. I'd scream for Albert and then for Thomas. Or Thomas first, then Albert.
Sanity roll first.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you managed to make it, but you still lose a point of sanity. So, because you have lost a point of sanity, you take an involuntary reaction. So maybe you sort of let out a sudden involuntary sharp intake of breath, or maybe a slight scream, and
Yeah. Absolutely.
and the figure like stops suddenly and turns looks at you, and you can see these yellow almost like glowing yellow amber looking eyes.
Bertie? Is that you?
Right. The figure, as you speak, the figure turns and dashes towards the window. It fumbles briefly with the lock, with the latch, and then starts to clamber out of the window.
Can I try and rouse Thomas?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Oh, for the fucking look at that! What is that?
It's the
Jesus Christ, Thomas!
Thomas is in the sitting room.
Thomas is in the front room.
I thought it was us.
No,
He
fell asleep in the
you're
sitting
on your
room.
own. Don't be getting him. Get the thing.
You reckon?
I'm outside.
All right, I'll give chase. I'll shout after Thomas as well to see if I can get him to come with us. Like, Thomas, come on! You weren't wrong. And then I'll chase him through the window.
Okay.
While screaming after Albert as well, literally shouting top of his voice.
Do I see like the window opening or anything? Or can I see...
So you can make a spot hidden roll, I guess. Okay.
Easy.
Yeah. So you see, before you come up this Aaron's shouting, Aaron's voice coming from the house. You see this figure sort of squeeze out through the window and drop to the floor before making off.
Can I take a shot?
You can if you want. Yeah, they're kind of heading in your roughly in your not directly at you, but kind of an angle towards the angling away from the back of the house to the wood, not directly at you.
I'll take a shot.
Okay.
I suppose, being cheeky, can I have a bonus dice? Because I'd sort of guess I'd be leaning up against a tree. I'd be able to take like a steady aim.
Oh, go on then.
No, wrong one.
Oh. Wow. That's I can't remember what that does. Wow.
I mean, if I'm honest, I'm sort of not aiming to kill it.
Right.
It's more of I'm firing towards it. I sort of maybe want to. It's more to try and, I guess, to wound or stop it rather than kill it. I don't want to.
Okay.
So I'd rather.
Okay, so you're not.
Rather than
so you've got a good shot, but you're not wanting to I mean that's like a critical, like a
No, I don't. No, because. Yeah, no, I'm not desperate. I just want to. It's more like I'm aiming towards it, but I guess it's more luck that I sort of hit it, and at best I'd maybe wound it or clip it.
Okay.
I don't want to.
So
I don't want to sort of.
With that good a shot, you can easily, if that's your intention, you can easily do that.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to kill it and stop it dead and things like that. Because I'm more intrigued. It's more. I'd say it's more luck than skill. That shot really.
Let me just find the rifle. Forgot to find the bloody rifle. So it's the one thing I haven't written down. I'm going to. Rifles. So it's 2d6. You want to roll 2d6?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Right. So, if like I say, if you want, I'll let you. Since you're not trying to if you're just trying to wing it, I'll let you half it if you want to show that you're trying to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I'm more. I'm more interested in stopping it and getting to it rather than. I don't really know what it is. You see, I don't know whether it's a person. I can't see it from this distance, so I don't know. I don't see like the legs bending the wrong way, and I just see a figure. Really, it's dark and.
Right. So yeah, it's you can see the you must have hit it, and it kind of stops. This figure stops briefly, and then just runs even faster into the trees. You can you can see it. You can see the like a bit of moonlight that's managing to break through the trees. You can see this figure running up this path.
I'm going to give chase.
Okay. Right at this point is
Aaron.
You can see Aaron like stumbling as he clambers out through the window.
Knowing I've heard the shot, I'll give chase too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
While trying to initiate conversation, just which way did he go?
I don't know what Aaron's seen. You see, I just see this figure. So
we just giving chase and talking on the way?
Well, I mean, I'd be probably like a significant bit in front of you. You'd probably hear me crashing through trees and up there. You'd sort of probably have an idea of where I'm going, but.
Okay, yeah, then I'll follow you. Following it, I'll follow you.
Yeah, you're probably roughly in the same direction, and I'll shout back to you to make some noise, and sort of tell you where I'm going. But you certainly won't be caught up with me. So.
Would we have known that the speed that it shot off at was, not normal? Was it normal?
Not. I wouldn't say it's. It was fast, but not.
Superhuman.
No.
Okay.
And even if it were, I probably wouldn't. That's not really at forefront of my mind. It's.
I think if it had sprinted off past the speed of light, sort of thing. Well, not speed of light, but you know what I mean. If it was super fast.
I'm more shocked that we've actually seen anything than anything else.
Okay, so I guess this is kind of a chase.
Yeah.
So you all need to make con rolls first to establish whether there's actual chase happening.
I don't know. I'll spend 2 luck on that. Yeah.
Okay. So turn that into a success. Okay. Right. So you managed to. So it doesn't manage to. This person doesn't manage to outrun you. So there is an actual chase happening. Right. So at the minute it's two locations, 2 spots ahead of you.
Yeah.
So going in order of decks you get to act, and you can basically spend. So you get movement actions, which is 1 plus difference in moves between. So what's your move stat?
8.
8. And what's yours?
7.
7. Okay. So yeah, you both get 2 actions that you can do, movement actions that you can allocate to doing different things. Like so, you can spend them to actually move a location. So you could use like both to move up 2 locations, or you can move a location and spend 1 to do something else, like an attack or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So so what did you say? What did you say your dex was?
8.
8.
Oh, my dexterity. Sorry,
yeah, dexterity.
60.
60.
55.
60, 55. So okay. So yeah, you get to act first then, or rather, Albert does. Yeah.
I guess I'll give chase with one of my actions, but the other one I just want to take another shot, not aiming because I'm running, but I just more want to cock the rifle and fire it more as like in its general direction. Just I'm never going to hit it, but it's more like a warning shot.
Rightio. Okay, so you can do that. You can it'll be with a penalty dice, of course. So yeah, you close some of the distance. Maybe you can make a spot hidden roll as well as you close the distance, and maybe see whether you get a better look of who it is that you're chasing. Oh, you do. Oh, yes, you do. So as you like close the gap, maybe this figure like runs into a big patch of moonlight and reveals what you're chasing after. This
Thing.
bipedal like thing that looks that's as like almost goat like legs that bend, the knees bend in the opposite direction to what they should, and it's like got thick rubbery looking skin that's partially covered in fur and dirt and like mold, and atop its shoulders is a head that looks more canine than anything than human. But there's also something more disturbing than that.
More disturbing.
Yeah, but you can make a sanity roll first.
What's more disturbing than a goat dog person? I'm going to lose some sanity here anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's a okay. So you lose D6 sanity. Oh no! Okay, so you have to make an idea roll as well at this point. Otherwise, you'll. So if you're successful, then you fully comprehend what it is that you're seeing. If you fail, then you're kind of like trying to you're rationalize
That's intelligence, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So you want to fail that. You did. You managed to, yeah. So you kind of like brush it off. What have you seen? It must just be a trick of the light. Maybe it's just a trick of the light. And the other thing that you saw that can't be right. And you just like blot it from your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have lost 5 points of sanity though, and you probably maybe I don't know what's your involuntary action. Maybe you maybe the fright, the shock makes you. Eh?
I dropped the gun.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah.
Just because of the pure shock, I suppose I've got it in one hand as I'm running, and just the shock, and I just like, I recoil, like, I take like half a stumbling step, and I drop the gun.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So then it's, I'm going to remember your character's name. Aaron. So you can quite easily, if you want, you can quite easily use both your move actions to catch up to Albert, and surpass him if you wish. It's up to you.
Yes, I will give chase. He seems to, as I'm approaching him, I'll notice that he's kind of stopped and stupid, and he's no longer holding the gun. And I'll just, where is it? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? And then as I'm going past, I'll just carry on chasing.
Okay. Oh God, yes, you need a bout of madness as well. Or is that only if you
Yeah, I thought if you lost more than 3 points.
It's 5.
All right. So do I get a bout of madness?
So it's 5 or more. I can't remember if you do.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking, but I think you do it anyway. I can't remember if it's if you succeed your idea roll. I should have looked at this before. I can't believe I can't remember. All right, no. So because because you've you failed your idea roll, you don't have a bout of madness. As if you do. I think. Yeah.
Oh, we're on the cusp.
Yeah. So yeah, if your intelligence roll succeeds, the investigator recognises the full significance of what's seen or experienced and goes temporarily insane, and you suffer a bout of madness. But
Okay.
your mind's you manage to try and rationalise what you've seen. Okay, so yeah. So did you say Aaron's just gonna carry on running past?
Yeah. Chasing it down, kind of following his eye line or wherever he's looking shocked, and just chase it down.
Okay, so yeah, you you run on past Albert and quickly gain ground on this fleeing figure, and as you do, you get a full look at what it is you're pursuing, and you can make a sanity roll as well. Okay, so you pass that, so you just lose you lose nothing, in fact. So despite the fact that you behold this thing, you lose nothing. So it doesn't cause a bout of madness. You don't have to make an idea roll because you're made a sterner stuff than that.
Yeah, I'd seen the photo. I'd seen this thing creeping along. I'd chased it down. I knew what we were dealing with. I don't know what we're dealing with, but I knew what to expect.
So yeah, you draw, pretty much draw level with it, as it. So and then it glances back at you and kind of makes this weird sort of chittering meep, almost like meeping type noise, and then it turns and runs, and seems to be heading towards the church.
Okay.
So it's Albert first again. So you've dropped back a spot.
Yeah. I've dropped the gun. And there's no chance of me finding. And I'm dropping the rifle. That's long gone.
Right. Okay.
That's. It's dark and it's in the woods. I don't really know. So there's, I'm not. That's gone. But I guess I'll continue to give chase.
Okay. Right. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to keep up, or at least keep Aaron in sight, and you both go charging through along this woodland trail. In fact, you can make a dex roll as you're stumbling along in the dark trying to avoid tree roots and rocks. Oh, so Albert,
I'm down in the mud.
Yeah, so you trip on something, a rock or a tree root, and you go down, and maybe go face down on the dirt and take a point of damage as you skid across the floor.
Yeah.
And one from Aaron. Okay, right. Yeah, so you run around and you just don't see this low tree branch and just run straight into it, hitting you full in the face and almost blood in your nose and stunning you for a moment. So you take a point of damage as well. So delaying you even more. Do you want to continue on the way? Try and catch up with it.
I guess so.
Right. Okay.
I guess, we're sort of in for a penny, in for a pound at the moment here. It's like, if we don't carry on, we're going to struggle probably to find his way back to house anyway. And, this is what we're here for. So, yeah. Or if we can, if it's not got away too far.
Okay, so you carry on as quickly and as carefully as you can, following this path in the rough direction you last saw the figure running, and eventually the path leads leads into the bottom of the graveyard that sits the older part of the graveyard that sits around the church. You can see the church that's like on top of the hill, so almost glowing, illuminated in the moonlight. And you catch. At first, you don't see anything, but then you darting amongst the bushes and trees and brambles that are overgrown this bottom end of the graveyard, you catch sight of that the figure you've been pursuing.
Is it still running, or is it just sort of?
It's kind of looks to slowed its pace a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess we'll knock it back a bit, and just steady on, I guess, and still aim and still work his way towards it.
Okay. Right, go on. You can both make a spot hidden then, as you sort of start weaving your way through the graveyard. You have to slow your pace. Like I say, you have to slow your pace anyway to avoid falling badly.
Oh, at least one.
So at first you lose track of the figure, and then Aaron catches sight of it, ducking in towards an old mausoleum.
Okay.
Pointed out to Albert.
You what? Sorry.
Pointed out to Albert. I'd be like, it's over there. It's over there.
Yeah, sort of point to him to move round to sort of start sort of covering both sides as we work his way towards it.
Okay. Right, make a stealth roll then.
No. No.
Oh dear.
I'm all right. I'm quiet as a mouse.
Oh,
Full
wow.
of mine.
Okay, so you both go creeping up, and you get to the the edge of a large tombstone. Peer around. Or Albert, you peer around this tombstone. You can see this figure stood at the door to this mausoleum, and pulls the chain from the gate across it, and it screeches as he opens this rusty old gate. Then Aaron comes in behind you and trips over your foot and stumbles, goes sprawling out on the ground right in front of you, and then the figure turns, and you see it in full for the first time, and now you must make another sanity roll as you behold what remains of Douglas Kimball.
That's a hard fail there, Phil.
Yes, it is.
Shall I just go insane now? How many D6 do I need to roll?
Just the one, another one. Your daily's only 5. Oh, sorry, your daily's only 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot your daily was only 5. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm now at 11.
You go on. Sorry.
I'm now pushing 11.
Yeah, so you definitely have a bout of madness. Yeah, sorry, I'd not realised you'd gone.
That verbal foaming at mouth.
Yeah, so roll a d10. So somehow, Aaron, you managed to keep your composure. You lose 1 point of sanity, even so.
Come on, big number. 6 again.
6. Okay, you just faint. So Albert just passes out. Just blind out faint.
Yeah.
So just blind out faints, and like I say, this this monstrous monstrous thing that bears an uncanny resemblance to Douglas Kimball turns and glares at you. What are you going to do? You can see there's a bit of you can see a bit of blood on its shoulder where it's like just like just kind of a scratch.
Like try and placate it. It's obviously, I don't want to be cornering what would be a wounded animal. Like, Douglas, are you in there?
Right.
We're friends of Thomas. He sent for us. He's sensed you coming.
Right. The figure sort of pauses for a minute and then puts a hand, like a clawed hand, to its shoulder. He goes, "What were you doing, shooting at me?"
Well, we didn't know who you were. We just saw this huge beast running from your nephew's house. We gave chase, and somebody's been breaking in.
This is my books. My books. I needed to get my books. It's not long. We're going to move on. They're closing up the entrance here. I needed my books. So do you know how boring it is down there?
Where's down there?
Can
I try and rouse Albert? Just like kick him while he's on floor.
You would have to do a first aid, I believe, to round.
Okay,
probably a bit beyond the toe poke at the moment. I might be more armed to you than anything else. I'm like pretty much gone insane.
So I'll ask I'll ask him again. Where's down there? Who's closing what off?
To the underworld, my friends. We live underground. You wouldn't believe the things I've seen.
Douglas, I'm looking at you now, mate. I'm struggling to believe what I'm seeing. What happened to you?
I was done with convention. It was social etiquette, and it was everything was just against every essence of every part of my being. Nobody ever really accept my preferences, my beliefs. But here on the ground with the ghouls, there's no judgment, there's no convention, there's no demands on me to live like the demands other humans put on each other. Here I can life is good. I need no money. I don't have to dress for dinner. I don't have to meet people except at meal times. And I read whenever I want, wherever I want, day or night. My friends, they are shutting down this entrance down. So I had one last chance to try and get more of my books before we left for good. There's so much to see and experience in the world below. I'm planning to write my own book, about my experiences.
I'm sure that would be a fascinating read, Douglas. You sound like you've got your mind made up. I'm struggling to give you a reason to stay, mate. I'll be honest with you.
There's nothing you can do to convince me to come back to what you call a real world. But you could always come with me.
That's a hard pass. Thank you, Douglas. I'm going to stay here and make sure that we can straighten out your nephew, if that's all right. I'm going to tell my friend
I
here.
hope he's well. I'm afraid I may have unnerved the boy a little.
The boy is most certainly unnerved, and given what we experienced.
So the Douglas ghoul starts glancing to either side as he's talking to you.
Oh, what's he glancing at? Can I have a quick look around?
So you see the you see shadows moving, and figures, dark figures, start detaching from the shadows to your left and right.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you, Douglas, and I'll try and scoop Albert up, and I'll tell Thomas that you've sent your best, and I'll try and skirt us out of there.
Okay, so you can make a luck roll.
A luck roll?
Yeah.
You ain't going anywhere.
Okay, right. You grab hold of Albert and start to try and drag him away, but you're not quick enough that you don't see the figures that detach, that emerge from the shadows. And there's more of these things, but these are far more monstrous than Douglas. There's no sign of there's barely any sign of humanity left in them, and there must be 10 or 12 of them, and you'll have to
I'd just drop Albert and sprint.
You'll have to make a sanity roll first.
Cheers.
If you fail, you automatically take the maximum. Oh, you do. So you take the maximum. You take 6 points of sanity, so you must make an idea roll as well.
You've gone insane.
An idea roll.
Oh, so you fully comprehend the horror of what you've seen. So you have a bout of madness as well. So you roll a d10.
Oh, big numbers.
Big number. Okay, so physical hysterics or emotional outburst. So laughing, crying, screaming. so yeah, basically can do. I don't know. What? Yeah, well, you tell me.
All of the above: laughing, crying, screaming. Well, trying to make a blast for the exit.
Okay, well, you can't do anything, so you're kind of incapacitated. All you can do is just collapse to your knees, laughing and screaming, and while you're clutching hold of Albert, and these things sort of close in around you.
Oh God!
And the last thing you remember is being dragged down into the darkness.
I'm glad I'm unconscious.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's not a happy ending here, Phil. Is that what I'm getting from this?
No. And
that ended a long time ago.
So endeth the Paperchase.